All right, let's try B here. So I start with the middle, and I take that and I cut it in half, and I get 3. And then I divide it by the number that's out in front here, but there is none, so I don't worry about that. So I create a square, but now it has a 3. So this is me, y equals. I'm trying to create the exact same equation, but I started with a square. So that's the square that I created. And I now want to see how much do I need to complete this thing. So I can go x plus 3 times x plus 3. I can multiply this out. X times x is x squared, which is what I have up there. Perfect. And then I get a 3x and another 3x. So 3x plus 3x. Now that is a 6x. So plus 6x. And then the last one there is a plus 9. So I'm at a 9. And I need to be at an 8. So I need to subtract 1 from this. I need to subtract 1 to get to 8. So then in my equation, I will also subtract 1. And that is it. Now, what's interesting to note is that when I took x plus 3, and it should be really easy to get this 3. You just cut the middle number in half, the one with the x. Once I got that 3, I had to do this foiling. I had to expand this. And I got an x squared and I got a 6x, which I already knew I would get. I do nothing with this. I just verify that it actually equaled that, but I already knew that. The only reason I foiled it is for this crap right here. I needed the plus 9. I needed to know where I was at. And then I needed to say, well, I'm at plus 9. I need to go to plus 8, so I'll just subtract 1. So I do all of this foiling just for the 9. That's all I really do that for. Now, you should be able to see this, but what is 3 squared? 3 squared is 9. And so you can immediately know that, oh, I'm going to end up at 9. What do I need to do to get to 8? I need to subtract 1. So it's a little bit faster that way. So you'll see in my notes, I think I go 3 squared equals 9. That's where I'm at. I need to get to 8. You might see that sometimes in my notes. If you look over on this question A, look, I did all this foiling down here, but I only did that to see that I already, look, I circled this plus 4. That's all I really needed. I was at 4. What would it take for me to get to the end number of 6? Well, I needed to add 2. But if all I needed was 4, I could have got that right there. 2 squared is 4. So 2 squared is 4. So if I FOIL, I'm going to end up with a 4 at the end. And what does it take to get to 6? Well, I can just add 2. So if you take a look at C, this should be very, very quick. You're going to create a square. It's always going to start out like this. You're going to take your middle, 8. You're going to divide it by 2, which gets you 4, a positive 4. Wow, that looks disgusting. Plus 4. Then you're going to FOIL that, and you're going to FOIL that, but really all you're after is 4 squared, 16. So you know you're going to end up, after you FOIL it, you're going to end up with an x squared plus 8x, because that's what it matches, x squared plus 8x plus 16. So you're only interested in that 16. What will it take to get to the 12? Well, 16, I'm going to have to minus 4 to get to the 12. That's it. Now try remembering that 6 months from now. No, nobody will. But I feel like remembering any method 6 months from now, we'll always forget. So we're trying to understand what the title means, which is completing the square. You've created the square, and now you're completing it to make it match what we originally had. Now, if you wanted to, you could do this at the bottom. X plus 4 times x plus 4. FOIL it, x squared plus 4x plus 4x plus 16. And then you could rewrite x squared. You could combine those, 8x. Wow, look at that. It actually matches. Who would have thought? And then you would have plus 16. And then you could say, well, now I'm at 16. What will it take to get to 12? Oh, I can subtract 4. So if you want to do all of this work, you're more than welcome to do that. But for those of us who can understand how this works, you can spot the 16 right there. And then say, well, I'm at 16. What will it take to get me to 12? So I do have these on the notes here that are online, and you can see I did, for all 3 of these questions, I actually did the multiplying here. I did do all the foiling. And you say, hey, we're at 4. We need to get to 6. Add 2. This one, we're at 16. We need to get to 12. We're going to minus 4. Here, we're at 9. We need to get to 8. We're going to minus 1. So those are all, those are all of the ones that are there. But I'm just saying you don't need to write all that. In fact, when you later on look down at the very first question, like one of these ones, B, you're going to see I've got the equation and I immediately completed the square. And I showed no work for that. And so you're just going to have to know, oh, hey, -6 cut in half is -3. -3 squared is 9. So I'm at 9. What does it take to get to 5? Well, I need to minus 4. And that is it. So that's how fast it should be to do all of these. But for what it's worth, I'll probably actually just zoom out here and show the questions that the last 2 videos have done. And then you can copy them, but hopefully you already have this out because it's written a lot neater than all the scribbles that I've just done.